Welcome, everybody, to episode 9 of 25 with Tech 25. I'm Tim Higgins, Secretary for Tech 25.
I'm Andrew Benton, Data and Systems Specialist. Good to be with you.
And we're also joined here from a secret remote location.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. This is Chris Fano, Director of Technology. Thank you for allowing me to join back in with you guys back at the studio.
We've got our live correspondent out there getting the big scoops out in the world.
That's what we do. We got to go all over the world.
Exactly. So the reason that we're here doing our stuff is to teach you a couple new things or help you build some good habits. And here today we want to talk about your resources. So I think a lot of people with technology especially feel that they're very much alone and don't know where to get the answers, or that some group of people knows everything, and so they shouldn't even try to surmount, the knowledge. And for some reason, a lot of people think that we are that we are these all-knowing people. The secret is that I don't know. I can at least speak for myself. I don't know that much. I think I just happen to know where to look and how to go about it. So what we want to do today is teach you kind of what some of those resources are, how you go about finding them, how you go about using them. So starting for you, some of your resources are us. And so I'm Tim Higgins, Secretary, as is said every week. What does that really mean? It means that sort of any general technology questions can come to me. Anything, ABC 25 grant ordering, like simple how things are supposed to work, and how they can in terms of software and websites and things that you want to be using. You can definitely send me emails about that sort of stuff, any sort of basic general tech stuff. And really any of your questions can come through me, because I can also help then push it on to some other people. And so we'll kind of go around amongst the people who are here, and then we'll talk about some of the other members of Tech 25 and what their roles are as well.
Yeah, great. So again, Andrew Benton, and I'm basically the data guy for the district, and so a lot of what I do stems from the student information system, which is PowerSchool. So PowerSchool nightly, or we have a lot of live syncs that are happening that basically feed all the other systems in the district, and you guys know as well as us that there's a lot of them. So we might be talking about NWEA MAP. That's something that you can contact me when it comes to students and the rosters and some of the reporting. PowerSchool, Power Teacher. You can certainly come to me with some of those things. And we do nightly uploads to Park for the Park testing. You'll start hearing about that soon. We even feed the food service system, and so basically, and then some smaller systems out there that are used just in particular groups, like for just ELL, or there might be a software, some of you know Dreambox, for some of the math students in the district. And so some of those systems out there that are fed with student data are typically from me. So if it's a roster issue, I guess in general, that's a good time to come. I also handle the online registration system, but that's not typically anything that you guys would have to contact me for. That's more me and the admin assistants. But yeah.
And then of course, across the hallway, some of the faces that you don't see here on the show so much is Dawn Andrews. Any sort of device issue. So if you've got a broken computer, you have a broken iPad, she's the person who does those repairs. However, the people that you would go to in your building about that are your BSTs or your tech facilitators with those sort of questions, and then they can sort of filter it up as well. So don't forget to use those resources that we have in the buildings for you, because they're communicating with us all the time. So if there's any questions they can't answer, it kind of comes up the pipeline. But just sort of, I guess, to give you a little bit more of an idea as well. But then also we'll shoot it over to Fano again too, see what advice he has on resources here at Tech 25 and in the building.
Well, thanks. And you guys don't give yourself enough credit, and a lot of credit goes to the people at the buildings as well. And it really is about asking questions, and whatever the needs are in the classroom for the students, and then all of the systems that go and support them is what we're here for. So obviously one of my main jobs is to work with our administration and administrators to be able to work on projects and systems that impact the district and meet the needs of what the instructional goals are. But also too, to explore some of those extra areas that people are interested in. So right now we're working on things like maker spaces or, redesigning online learning experiences. And then we work together as a team to be able to do that. So really, I think the best way to use people as resources is to ask those questions and how to best serve the students as we go forward.
Awesome. And so, yeah, I mean, really asking questions, no matter how, people say this to me all the time. It's like, I think this is a stupid question, but there's not such a thing. I never mind answering even the stupid questions for people whenever they're asking them. Now, if you ask me the same question 4 or 5 times, I would hope that you would have learned it by then. But I cannot think of a single question that I've ever laughed at somebody or said, like, what are you even asking? So asking questions is a big one. And we have sort of this support structure set up for you in the district. Now from there then, of course, we have the internet, which has made our lives so much better in so many ways. And one being that there is so much knowledge, so many answers, so many ideas that are present out there on the internet. So we're going to kind of jump through and kind of bust through some ways that we use, and then some things that we have set up here in the district to help you out in your classrooms for being able to reference different things. And so I am going to figure out how to share my screen, and we'll get rolling. So a big one is that Google search obviously is a place to go. Everybody kind of knows that you can do that into your search space, type anything in here into the search field, and something will come up. In this case, today's Veterans Day, we could learn all about it. But that's one that everybody seems to know. YouTube is going to be a little bit more specific then. It's a great place to go and get video tutorials on all sorts of different things. It's amazing how much stuff people on the internet. I tie a tie on the internet. And you just search any sort of subject, you get all sorts of hits on some different ways of going about doing that. Now, the problem with YouTube is it's unregulated. It's just anybody can post whatever they want, and sometimes you get tutorials that just run too long for what it is, or aren't maybe in depth enough. A cool resource that we subscribe to here in the district and make available to you. I'm going to have Andrew kind of talk to you about that sort of subscription service here.
Yeah, so it's lynda.com, and if my gosh, if you have not used this yet, you really should look into it. It is a very impressive online training library, and it has multiple softwares. It also has even just topics, and so I'm going to log in, and we'd really like you just to contact us if you'd like a login. We don't want to put it out there because we know this is a worldwide show, and we don't need we only have the 5 concurrent licenses, so we want we can have 5 people going at one time. We're gonna ask us for the login, and then honestly, let's just start right here at the library, and you'd be amazed at some of the things that are offered. You could even just explore educational technology in general. So maybe I'll get to that in a second. It may just be that you want to learn a little more about Excel. Sometimes there's a lot of versions that pop up on your screen. You can also contact us or your BST or BTA to find out which one you're actually using on your machine. It may just be that you want to learn more about the software in general, or it may be you're in Excel or you're in Google Sites or you're in the software that you're using at the time and you're stuck. Lynda.com can be used to actually simply find the fix to the issue you're having at the time. So it doesn't always have to be, I want to learn this entire piece of software. Let me just jump in here. It's let's say a lot of us think we know Excel, and then it's time to do charts, and it's just a roadblock. What's really nice about Lynda is they have a little course introduction. But then if you see, they actually break down their entire tutorial on Excel into these little pieces. If you just started and press play, you'll be able to go through all of them, but you can just jump. You can just jump to, I'm talking while I'm looking at it, so let's just say changing a chart's type. The video is very clean, very clear.
To use often is the ability to change the type of a chart. In this worksheet called Year Data, we've got a chart to the right. I'm going to click on it, and I'm not quite sure whether this column chart is the best chart type here.
So we don't have to learn all about that right now. I'll just talk about Google Drive. All I did is type Google Drive, and you'll see a lot of this essential training. It's really the big picture, and it's really nice. Let's click on it. Some of the things that you hear from us through this 25 with Tech 25, we may race through it. Let me just stop this. We may be racing through it and you want to learn more about it. Just jot it down, go to Linda, do a search on it, and off you go. There are things like Dropbox. A lot of people hear that word Dropbox and they are thinking, you know, I'm embarrassed to ask what in the world these guys are talking about. So I might say Dropbox. I'll go to Up and Running with Dropbox. And, you know, look at this. They even have just this idea of what it is. What is Dropbox? And understanding cloud storage, like the cloud that everybody keeps talking about. There's signing in. Here's backing up your files. So I might just click on it. The video starts immediately.
Dropbox provides a very effective way to back up the files that are on your hard drive.
Just really impressive stuff. And please, if you have not been in here to learn a little more about whatever it might be, please do. I mentioned I was going to go back to this educational technology and just look at some of the things they have in here. Linda is, as you can tell, a little bit geared towards education. You know, there's some of these organizations, these online training groups that are maybe more business, but you can tell that there's an educational lean toward with Linda. And so imagine just social media in the classroom and just learning a little bit. This is paid for you all to use, and we'd really like to see it happening more. So let us know if you have any questions regarding lynda.com, and especially the password, usernames, and we'll be happy to do it. Get it to you.
Thank you, Andrew. And so, yeah, lynda.com is amazing if you're just looking, you know, to answer a simple question in something or learn something very thoroughly. As I'm switching over to something else to talk about, I just want to mention too that they have like actual industry professionals who are making these videos. Is the great thing. I actually have a college professor who was one of my advanced video editing teachers who has posted volumes and volumes of stuff on there. Makes me a little bit mad that I spent all that money on the college education when I could have just spent a couple $100 on a Lynda account. But you know, it's better for all of us that we have that access to that knowledge. Another little trick, add-on that we could put into Google. If you're somebody who doesn't feel like you've gotten a full grasp of Google, we've talked about it in the past. But it is something worth, I think, talking about again here. It's Synergis, and it's an add-on that we can get from the Chrome Web Store. So if you just do a Google search for the Chrome Web Store and then type in Synergis, it's this one right here. Right now it says rate it for me, but if you don't have it installed, you would get one of these blue add to Chrome buttons. And once you've added it to Chrome, what will happen is anywhere inside of Google Chrome, you'll get this little green, blue, and red icon in the upper right-hand corner. And if you click on that, we get all sorts of, similar to Lynda, a breakdown of different, basically, chapters of different things worth knowing on the page that you're currently exploring. So you can learn all about, get a full step-by-step course on how to use Drive. It exists in Mail, it exists in calendars, and every aspect of Google. And it'll give you these little lessons. A little player will show up in the left with a voiceover that you can hear in the background. And one of the cool things, too, is that actually even when you're getting into lessons that sort of show you about buttons, is it highlights the buttons. It gives little pointers and little pop-ups on the screen to show you what it's talking about. So it's a very thorough, amazing way to learn about Google. And so with that,
you know what, let me go back.
Sure.
Bring it back to me.
I'm going to bring it back to Andrew here for a second.
There's a little piece that we kind of hopped over, and it's this this document that we can share. This document is one of the other resources that we have. We just jumped directly into some of that software stuff, but going back to, you learned about Tech 25, then there's your BSTs, BTAs, tech facilitators. Some of those groups, some of those folks out there have actually designed tech sites for their own buildings that actually could serve the entire district. And so they've gone through a lot of work and effort to build some of these things. Tech 25 has actually done the same thing, where we actually have these portals. Well, everybody calls them a portal, it's a one-stop shop for a lot of different resources. So here's the Tech 25 wiki. Tech 25 wiki has a lot of different, here's professional learning resources. If you look, this is really impressive. It's talking about our, you're going to learn about, here it is, 25 with Tech 25. You'll learn about what we're doing right now. And then if you look at this is an incredible job Chris Fano did in laying out some of the tools that we use in the district. And by clicking on them, you learn a little more once we sign in. Sorry about that. But yeah, there's that. I mean, look at all of the, this has always been available to you, and we're happy to get the word back out. But let's look at Greenbrier's site. So here's Greenbrier's tech site. And if we go to, for students, we see a lot of different things. If we go to for staff, look at all these resources that are actually available to anybody. Anybody can go through. This happens to be Greenbrier's site, but these serve all of you, and you can see how they've done a really nice job there. Just going to jump through these, and then you can go explore on your own. This is Westgate and Olive, Mary Stitz. If you look at some of this that they've created for you, very impressive. Just going into tech tips real quick. Look at all the tips that they have, making labels in Office. Yeah, going through, just add bookmarks, just anything that you may be doing in your classroom. These things are sitting out here on all of these sites. Quickly.
And it's from the simplest task all the way up to some more complicated stuff. So it runs the range, which is great for, you know, our audience, because we know everybody out there is at a very different level in terms of their comfort and their knowledge level. And these sort of places are great spots to sort of bridge the gap, to sort of, you know, no matter who you are, no matter how much you know, you can always learn something from these places.
And as a special gift to you, if you were watching this either live or on tape on YouTube later, please let us know and we'll share this document with you. It's not a very pretty document. We're not going to share it with all staff. We'll just, if you're interested, we'll get this document out to you, because these links are a little tough to, like,
and if you're watching us on tape, let us know, because I want to find out who's releasing those VHS tapes.
Yeah, on tape. That's what they still say.
I'm not so sure. So at this point, we also then want to we're going to turn it over to Chris Fano, who I think is still with us over there, to kind of talk about some of the other resources we have specifically for your classrooms, different resources to use there. So, Chris, whenever you're ready to unmute your mic, we are good for you.
Chris, your mic.
I am excited. Can you guys hear me?
We can.
We can hear you.
Good. Can you see the screen I've got up here?
Discovery Education.
Oh, even better. So like you guys said, you know, resources are pretty amazing. You just have to ask the question, find the right people, and in this case, also sometimes find the right site. So I'm going to kind of shoot through 4 different sites that we have paid for subscriptions that can help bring some resources into your classroom. First, Discovery Education started off a long time ago as a product called United Streaming. And I think some people still have this idea that it's only about video services. And it is still their primary service. As we can see, I'm logged in as my account. Every staff member and every student can have an account to the service. And their main function is providing video assets that you could use in your classroom or embed in websites. And they do a really nice job of breaking it down by subject area and by grade level appropriateness so that you could filter quickly down into getting the information that you want. So for example, if I just want to go into mathematics here, and I could choose a couple different, out of a couple different sections, I'll just go to numbers and operations, pick arithmetic, and then right now you can see we've got 680 different video resources that you could be able to use with your students that they could watch on their own. You could put onto, a blog page, or you could show with the whole class. But one thing I want to make sure that everybody understands, and I'm going to go through this really quick, but I hope you revisit this resource, is that it's not just about the video. They do have Blackline Masters. They do have teacher guides about how to be able to present the lesson, supplementary activities. They have a bunch of services that read the text of the video to students who they could read along with each of the videos that come out here with the CC. So even in the video itself, it's not just about the particular video, but they do have supporting materials that go along with it. I want to go back to this streaming screen, and you can see that there are also a bunch of other resources that are in here. And again, I'm not going to go through any of these other than to talk about it's not just about the videos anymore. You can have all of your students in a classroom and you can assign them videos or different assignments. This assignment manager can build out and say, I want you to go watch this and answer these questions that are related to the video and be able to submit it. The builder tools, this is an important one. There are a couple in here. You could build some assessments, some writing prompts, quizzes, all of these right within the system that go around the videos or anything else that content-wise you want in your classroom. So again, revisit Discovery Education. It's not just about the videos, lots of other things that you can do with this service. And as a little sneak peek, I know everyone's excited about, we're hoping to move toward a Google single sign-on very shortly to make it even easier for you and your students to get into the service. Okay, next, for the younger kids, talking about Tumblebooks. We've recently added a subscription to Tumblebooks in association with the Arlington Heights Memorial Library. When you are in the district, there's a website that your LMC, your tech facilitators have that your kids can log in. No login needed. It goes straight to the site. And Tumblebooks is a very well-known resource, primarily for storybooks and being able to have them read online to students. So you can see here, there are a whole bunch of different books that you can read online, and accompanying them are quizzes, games, lesson plans, book reports, other resources that you can have online to support these. So again, some people may have used this in the past. Fun stuff, fun little introductory music, but you got the general idea. And again, each of these have their own set of resources to help students read with vocabulary and doing some text-to-speech. All right, next, World Book Online. You know, the idea of an encyclopedia, I know for a lot of people has gone by the wayside with just Googling things, but World Book is still a very reputable resource. And we do have a subscription that not only covers what you would think of as a traditional encyclopedia for middle school and high school kids, but we also have a kids version. There's a series of ebooks that are included in this, and there's also a Spanish version of the encyclopedia here. So everything from advanced World Book Online all the way down to the kids side, we have access to, again, within the district, staff and students, and all of these have articles about current events. They have videos, they have pictures that go along with it. And then finally in this section, there are a series of timelines that are associated with historical events, things that have gone on that kids could look at and then apply to projects that they're working on. So again, just like Discovery is not just about videos, World Book is no longer just about articles. They have a lot of media that are connected. You can adjust for reading level. The searching is much more accurate in terms of being able to make it appropriate for your students. All right, last one I'm going to jump into right here, Facts for Me. Very simple database. Again, we have access to this. This is for the younger kids. But you can see here, Facts for Me is a service that divides things out by categories. So let's say we want to go to Explorers. A lot of people do projects around this. They need another place to go that is, you know, a vetted resource. and this would be one place for it. You want to know a little bit more about Coronado? Very basic, very simple information with some pictures, but it does give you a lot of information that you could use for doing research, for doing projects. All of these are subscriptions that we have available to us in the district that we are currently paying for. The last thing, I know we're just above time, but I want to reiterate, if you are a Arlington Heights library card holder, or you know somebody who is, they have enormous resources, databases and subscriptions that you could use both for your own professional learning, research that you're doing for projects, or the kids could use as well. Everything from book flicks all the way out to if you're researching newspapers and periodicals and articles that you need. So those are a couple of additional resources that are not just about your personal learning, but also things that you can bring into your classroom and support what is going on. So that's what I have to share. I hope everybody has found something that they could pull from all of these different areas to help you integrate technology and feel supported in the classroom.
Awesome. Thank you, Chris. And that really brings us to the end. And so, you know, again, to reiterate, ask us questions. You're curious about something, send us an email. You don't know about something, give us a call. We are here to help figure out, you know, whatever you're curious about, whatever you're looking to do in your classes, whatever is going to make your life easier with technology. Let us know.
And you have some quality people in your building as well, your BSTs, BTAs, tech facilitators. Absolutely.
And it's what they're there for, and they are more than happy to help out in any way they can. So thank you for joining us. Happy Veterans Day. If you know a veteran, give them a call, thank them, and we'll see you next time.